which is 18-10. Yeah. He gave you that. When he got aggressive, the game was out of hand. I don't know, maybe it's my television, but if you watch these games, they've played 5 games. The Miami Heat has won 2 quarters. They won the 3rd quarter of game 1. They won the 1st quarter of game 3. Other than that, the Boston Celtics have dominated. When the Celtics don't turn the ball over, Miami gets blown off the court. And you watch the second half, 5 turnovers. Look at the run they went on. 10 points in the final in the 3rd quarter, the final 10 points, and then go on a 14-2 run. So a 24-2 run over about a 5-minute stretch. Why? Because you guys can't score in the half court. If you don't get easy shots, you've got one guy that can go create his own shot. The reason why they benched Duncan Robinson is because of his defense. Strus can't guard a park car with an Uzi. Who the hell he guarding? So now they put him in pick and roll. They put Kyle Lowry in pick and roll. And, man, Kyle Lowry looks like a shell of himself. He looks like a shell of himself. So now all they do, your backcourt, you go 0-15, 0-12 from 3. How the hell you expect to win a game? I don't care who you got. You can have playoff Jimmy, playoff superstar, all-star Jimmy. If your backcourt play as bad as Miami Heat's backcourts played, you're not winning that game. And you mentioned Tatum and Brown. You like the 4th quarter. You like second half. They take the game over in the second half, and all you want to talk about is what they didn't do in the first half. Talk about what they did in the second half.
If Tyler Hero plays last night, you lose. It's as simple as that. He is a force coming off the bench, and he has been a shell of himself. And Kyle Lowry is a multiple-time All-Star, and as my friend Brian Windhorst wrote today, speaking of the 0-for-15 backcourt, Brian wrote his explosiveness, Kyle Lowry's, his explosiveness has been robbed by a hamstring injury. So he shouldn't even be out there.
Right.
Oladipo should be, but even when Oladipo came in...
He was bricking shots last night.
He bricked 2 shots that they hit nothing but backboard.
Right.
They didn't miss everything, but they hit nothing but backboard. And he had 2 horrendous turnovers on breakaway plays that should have been easy dunks at the other end. And you just can't do that in a game that is this seesaw back and forth.
Right.
And now I get to what Windhorst wrote about my man, playoff Jimmy. He says, in Game 5 last night, the Celtics essentially stopped guarding Jimmy Butler. They backed off Butler and treated him as an unskilled screen setter, not the team's most dominant offensive player. They need another star. Stop it. They need this star. Here's the quote from Ime Udoka after the game. Butler wasn't looking to score. We wanted to keep a big on him and play him as a big, meaning a non-shooting big.
Yeah.
This is playoff Jimmy we're talking about. What in the name of Dwayne Wade ever happened to playoff Jimmy? From the halftime of Game 3 on, he has been a disaster because it looked like, this is just me, I don't have any background knowledge of this, except I know a whole lot about Jimmy Butler's past, not only with Miami, but in Chicago, Minnesota, everywhere he's been, Philadelphia, everywhere he's been, he has had incident upon internal incident clashing with players and coaches. He clashed publicly in the right before everybody's very eyes in that game back in March with Spoelstra. And something has happened. Something internally has gone way wrong because this looked like a troubled basketball team revolving around a Jimmy Butler who time and time again last night would dribble tentatively, half-heartedly into the lane and kind of look around like, this is attack mode. See, this is where you just go. Just go and get to the foul line. Would you believe, what's the stat on this on Jimmy Butler? Jimmy Butler, this is the worst 2-game shooting stretch of his career. I'm not going to be able to put my finger on the stat right now. I think he shot 6 free throws since he started, quote-unquote, quitting on this team 2.5 games ago, after he shot 29 free throws in the first 2 games. That's called attack mode. That's called aggressiveness or lack thereof.
Well, here's the thing, Skip. If his knee is bothering him, obviously he can't attack, and that's been a part of it. You look at Chris Middleton. I'm not so sure the Boston Celtics get by Milwaukee if Middleton's healthy.
You could be right.
But you got to play. I don't mind a guy playing, Skip, but you can't use injury as an excuse if you go out there and you don't play bad. If you play hurt, Skip, you better play well. It's as simple as that. And I noticed it last night also. They had Grant Williams playing Jimmy Butler. They put Al Horford on Jimmy Butler. I say, are you serious?
Are you serious?
But, Skip, when you look at it, if you look at the Miami Heat, Skip, they really only got one guy. that can go get you a bucket. And you were right, Tyler Hero was dressed. He was dressed like Sonny Crockett in Miami Vice. You see with the white linen shirt and the pants and the
He looked good.
Yeah, he looked good. But he needed a Heat uniform on.
He needed a Heat uniform.
But Skip, outside of the first game, he been trashed now. Let's be real now. Don't pretend like he's been Sixth Man of the Year, Tyler Hero.
But don't pretend like he wasn't due, because he came through due.
Well, they cost you due. That's the only due that you got.
He cost me due because he would have tilted that game in Miami's favor.
Skip, it is so hard. Think about how late in the shot clock or the offensive rebounds that you guys got to get and put back in. You guys are not getting no easy baskets. Benson is dribbling, and the shot clock goes off. He drains one. Somebody else drains a shot late in the shot clock. It is so difficult for you guys to get points in your half-court set. So now the Celtics stop turning the ball over. When JB got hot in the third, when he couldn't miss a three, and him and JT was just taking turns, because JT got it going. And then he stood back and let JB start doing his thing. And once they got it going, Skip, that game, you're right, that game was begging. And I was just saying to myself, man, if Boston can just take the lead and get like a 4-point lead, man, that thing went from 4 to 23 in a hurry.
It did, because it was teetering on blowout for the longest time. But it also resembled dangerously Game 3 when they just kept hanging in, and somebody would make an unlikely shot and an unlikely shot until Strus finally shot one up off the ceiling, right?
Yes.
That swished with 2 minutes left, and it felt like that was the dagger.
Right. But, Skip, if you remember, even in Game 1, Jimmy Butler was hitting shots. Jason Tatum just dropped his head. He's like, Coach, I don't even know what you want me to do. With no time on the clock, the man hits an 18-footer. And it's like every time Boston made a run, the Heat would neutralize it. And you mentioned Strus made that final shot. But Skip, if you take the third quarter of Game 1 and you take the first quarter of Game 3, Skip, Boston has dominated this series. They really have. And they really didn't get it. They hadn't gotten much out of Grant Williams the last two ball games. Skip, the biggest thing was Derek White. And I know his name is not, people are not talking about him because he didn't go off in the third quarter and fourth quarter like JB and JT.
That saved your bacon and your back.
Him and Al Horford in the first half.
Especially Derek White.
Yeah, I like that.
An ex-Spur could do something, right?
Marcus Smart got picked up them 2 early fouls. He didn't have it going last night, and Derek White came in and made sure. I was like, man, what are they going to do now? And Marcus Smart was like, nah, leave me in. Nah, you come on over here with me. Derek White, do your thing. And Big Al Horford has been a godsend. Al Horford is playing his tail off, Skip. Big three after big three, rebound, contesting shots, and Robert Williams, I don't know how he be coming from under the rim and guys shooting threes, Skip, and he throwing it up in the stands. But he's played, they're a very, very good defensive.
PJ Tucker's getting thrown up in the stands because he shoots feet on the floor set shots from the corner, and that's all he's got. That's all he's got.
But he's a corner three, Skip. He's going to play D. He gave you 5 offensive rebounds. Tuck gave you 11 rebounds.
He fought his tail off.
Yes.
So I know you don't keep the sound up on your TV, so you probably don't hear the commercials, but a line that's sung in the commercials stuck in my head all last night. I couldn't go to sleep with this line in my head. It's the Michelob commercial featuring my man Jimmy Butler. Do you know it? It's a Hootie and the Blowfish song. Do you know it? The first line he sings is, "Ain't nothing I can do," right? I can't sing, but that's the line.
Right.
And it resonated in my head last night because truer words were never sung. Ain't nothing he can do because he's doing nothing.
Right.
I only want to be with you is the rest of the song.
I know it,
All right. So it's a great Hootie song.
Right.
But the point is, it is a nightmarish song for me because the first line is, "Ain't nothing I can do." Well, that sums up Jimmy Butler right now. There ain't nothing he can do on the basketball court. You want to talk about shell of himself. It's not even shell. You can take the S off shell. It's hell of himself, right? Because there's nothing left.
Yeah, but Skip, when you look at it, where are you supposed to get points from? Your backcourt good or 15 or 12. PJ Tucker is not an offensive guy. Skip, Bam is Bam. Bam gave you 18 and 10. That's what you pretty much expect of Bam. So Gabe Benson really he was terrible from 3, but he got it going late. But when you look at this, Duncan Robinson can't play defense. That's why they went to Strus, because Strus can make the threes and he could play a little defense. I couldn't tell last night because they kept him and Kyle Lowry in the pick and roll.
I want to congratulate you. I want to congratulate the Boston Celtics for advancing to the NBA Finals.
We're not there yet. We got one more. No.
It is kaput.
Hold on.
It is a done deal. It is officially, formally unequivocally over.
Isn't it only right? Isn't it only right that the Boston Celtics get the Larry Bird trophy? Isn't it only fitting? How can you be in the Eastern Conference, a team that's won the tie with the Lakers for titles, and the first year in existence, somebody should get the the Larry Bird trophy from the Celtics. That's only fitting. The only other thing would have been fitting somebody from the Lakers get the Magic Johnson trophy.
Okay.
That's not going to happen this year.
That is obviously not going to happen.
But somebody from the Celtics go get that Larry Bird.
It's done. They should just go ahead and award it before Game 6 because there's no need to have a Game 6. As I tweeted last night, they should have just sent the Heat off the court in the fourth quarter because they were such a disgrace that they didn't belong on TV. They did not merit the TV time. They should have just filled it with interviews of the Celtics through the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that 15%. I mean, they skipped. They shot 32% from the floor. They got up 94 shots. Skip. They got up 23 more shots than the Celtics.
Yeah, it's because of the offensive rebounds and the turnovers.
Yeah.
But look how many they missed. I mean, is that not just
They shot 15% from the three.
Right? Okay, but look how many they missed, total shots.
Yeah, they missed 64 shots.
64 shots?
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, y'all brick masons.
Huh? Well, not in the regular season. Right?
I keep telling you the regular season doesn't matter in the postseason.
Well,
it's a different game. This game is about adjustments. It's about matchup.
Not
this
the
is a bad matchup.
12 games of the playoffs where they brick masons.
The Celtics are a bad matchup for you. They're no good.